I can make a video like all these commentary channels with all the highlights and breaking it down. But what's there to break down? The dark screen says it all. It's a no-show from Matthews, Marner, Nylander, and Tavares here in round two. They've combined it for a grand total of 0 goals this series. It's been the depth players that have been actually keeping the Leafs hanging around. And that's the problem with the Toronto Maple Leafs. You win around, you're content now. And, the window on this group is quickly coming to a close. And there's so many things you can point to, right? One of the things that I noticed in the game, right, in this series and the way they've been playing, it's a dump and chase game. That's not who the Leafs are. If you look along the boards, every single board battle, they pretty much lose, like the top units. The grinders, yes, they get in there, they grind, they get the puck. But when they dump and chase, they're losing the battles. Nylander, if you look at him going in, the guy doesn't go in on a puck battle. He floats around and he tries to stick lift. Same with Marner. They all do it. They're not in the boards battling. That's why losing Matthew Knies this series is so huge. But they play along the boards. They play a perimeter game. They're not driving the net. They're not going to the net. Do you remember that play a couple of games ago where Nylander had the entire net to himself to drive and he waited for options? Like, come on. So, like, the way I see it is they're not playing in front of the net. They're not driving the net, and they're not taking shots, and they're not making Bobrovsky's life difficult. We're not getting goalied. Stop saying we're getting goalied. He's playing unreal. No, we're making him look good. He must be thanking heavens that the Toronto Maple Leafs are making him look good, because honestly, we are. We're not doing anything right. We're not playing playoff hockey. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You win around, you're content. You're content. And then now you're down 3-0. You see the path to the Stanley Cup Finals. Oh, playing Florida, the wild card. We could do it. They beat Boston. They beat Boston, right? You think Boston just flopped over? Well, I did watch their games, and they didn't play well in that overtime either towards the end of the game. They pretty much handed it to Florida. And the Leafs are doing the same thing. We're handing it to Florida, but Florida's playing better than us. They're forechecking harder. They're making our lives difficult to pass the puck out. And we're constantly making mistakes. And, again, like, if you look at Dubas, everybody praised Dubas and what he's done at the deadline. And honestly, he did a very good job. Like, I can't even blame the guy. But if you look at what we have, and this does fall on Kyle Dubas, our blue line is still not good enough. It is still not good enough. There's no top flight defenseman. And if you want to consider Riley in that mix, that's fine. But we don't have that number one top flight. If you look at Florida, Brandon Montour's been playing out of his mind, but they had Aaron Ekblad too. If you look at Tampa Bay, they have Hedman and Sergachev. Like, the remaining teams have those guys. Like Carolina, I would say New Jersey, well, they have Dougie Hamilton. Like, on the flip side, Matthias Ekholm and Darnell Nurse. A lot of people don't like Nurse, but Seattle's doing it by committee. I don't know. I don't know how they're doing it over there. Dallas, Miro Heiskanen, like, our blue line is just not good enough. It's not. Forwards, again, like, there's some decisions to make, and I think it's this offseason. Number one, I guess you find out if Matthews wants to stay. I think that's the first priority. Does Matthews want to be a Toronto Maple Leaf? The answer is no. He's got to go. You got to trade him. No matter what. Don't know what the package looks like. Some people think it's for futures. I don't see it with this roster. I see a Matthew Tkachuk-like trade, to be honest with you. But it all depends what people want to give. When he goes on the market, it's not, and there could be some retention in that deal too, right? So if he goes on the trade market, got to see what you can get for him. But if he wants to re-sign, you got to go to him and say, look, what's the number? Because they honestly, like, some people have been saying, I can't even say it's been reported, 15 million. Like, I don't think so. I don't think we're winning with that cap hit. It's just like, and the Leafs have to make that decision if they think they can win with that. It's really hard to win with that kind of contract, right? And then you got to make a decision on Nylander. What's his next contract going to look like? And honestly, the way he's played, he had one really good period. One really good period where he was dancing. Didn't score, but he was dancing, right? Tavares, like, I'm sitting here saying trade the team, but like, this is something you need to consider here, right? Tavares, he's not getting any younger. He's making 11 million. He's not going anywhere, because I look at it like, okay, we got to trade Tavares. Number one, who's going to want to take him? Number two, how much salary are we going to have to retain? And number three, are we even going to get anything back for him? So in my eyes, he's staying, right? No matter what. And my hope for John Tavares and what he does is his next contract, he better be taking a big haircut. I mean, like, he can't be making anywhere near 11. I don't even want him to make 5. I think his next contract with the Leafs, if he elects to stay here, you're looking at 3 million. Like, we paid him. Now, if you're truly the captain of the team, take a haircut, like a big one. Like, it's important. Like, you know, so that's down the road, because, you know, and then obviously Marner, I'd explore that too, but like I don't want to sit here and be that fan that says trade the team, but the guy looks nervous out there. I don't like, I don't know. Like, you can't, like, something's got to change with this core 4 forwards. Like, Riley, I think, has bought himself some time with the way he's played in the playoffs. I think he's really bought himself some time, right? But the others, no. Like, you got to look at it. And again, there's a lot you got to look at. It's not just the player. Kyle Dubas needs to, like, his contract's expired, right? He's another guy you potentially need to take a look at. Like, seriously, you know, is he even going to want to stay? Well, he built this roster. He should want to own it and stay and see it through, right? But maybe he's looking at the DNA of the guys he paid, that he set us with, and he's saying, I don't think these guys can get it done. So, but he believes in them. He believes. He's always believed. Keep going back at it. Does he still believe in that? I don't know. And Sheldon Keefe, again, I just, the way the Leafs are playing, it does fall on the coach a little bit too. He's done a good job. I don't know. Has he? I don't know. Like, I was trying to give him some praise before I go for a low blow, but like, again, the Leafs are playing a dump and chase style, and it's just not who they are. They're bringing the puck into the zone, dumping it, and losing every single puck battle. Like, we're not that kind of team. And Matthews has been playing along the boards lately too, I noticed. The guy's center ice. Why doesn't he attack through the middle? The man, like, I don't understand how, like vintage Matthews brings the puck across the line and lets one fly. I think everybody has adapted to him, and they're playing press coverage on him, right? So, like, it's obviously harder, but the guy, how he is successful, brings it in, creates space for himself, and lets that wrister go, right? But instead, we're playing a dump and chase style and losing every battle, and it's just, I don't understand. Like, it's just, we're getting out forechecked. We have no time. By the way, the Leafs are terrible on the breakout. Awful on the breakout. Like, they're getting pressured every single time, and they're taking it up through the boards. You know, like, when I play, this is just completely irrelevant, but when I play NHL, with my friends, right? We have something called climb the ladder, where the center hangs back and breaks the puck out. For some reason, I look at the two defensemen like passing the puck around, but there's no like, and then they sweep it to the boards, and that's an easy way to get clamped, right? Why not drop the center back and let him break it out? Let Austin Matthews break it in. Like John Tavares, they get paid the money. Ryan O'Reilly, why don't they get to break it in, right? Like, why are we going along the boards, getting clamped, dumping, chasing, losing every battle? Like, it's just unacceptable. The way the Leafs are playing, unacceptable. Like, it's going to take an absolute miracle to come back. It's not like they've showed up, Florida, and I'll give them their flowers. They've played very, very good hockey. But we're just giving it to them too. And, you know, a sign of a good team is when you get something like from your opponent and you take it, that's a sign of a good team. The Leafs, just give it to them. Just give it here. We don't want to win the game. Here you go. And you know what? Everybody's like, oh, I remember game 2, we were down 2-0. Oh, I'm not worried. I was worried because of what I've seen. And, you know, maybe there's like a 3% chance of coming back. 3, but I think it's over. I think it's over. It's done. We don't got any fight. We don't have that DNA. Marner looks terrified. You know, we just don't care. And, you know, if the big boys were producing and we were losing, then I guess, I don't know. Would it make it better? I don't know. I said this in one of my videos, my beginning of the season video, and I'll say it again to conclude the video here. You can rearrange the deck chairs on the Titanic, but it's still gonna sink.